Hey everybody, it's Aw, and we are back on my Redstone testing world, and today we are going to be doing basically a tutorial of tutorials. Alright, we're going to look at all the different ways that I've been building all the stuff. So in case you want to, make your own whatever. We'll be looking at regular pistons, sticky pistons, hoppers, droppers, repeaters, redstone dust, comparators, torches, and of course, redstone blocks. Now, first off, we've got the redstone torch. Very useful and used to power things. But if you want to turn it off, you power into the block that it's on. Now, whether that block be like this, or if it's coming off the back like this, you just have to power the block that it's connected to. Alright? So we're going to move along from there, because I don't think this warrants any further description. Now, say you want to have two inputs for, I don't know, maybe you're doing some kind of combo lock, right, or special key entrance to somewhere, and you want to have both of them needed to get in. Now, as you can see, since this torch is here, and it's being powered by these two, if only one of them turns off, the other one will still power, keeping this torch off. So you need to unpower both to have this piston go up. Now, look how long this piston goes up for. Sorry if I'm speeding along. I don't think these ones merit much in the way of, description. But anyway, see how it goes up, comes back down. Now this right here, you can, have it as only 2, or you can have it as 4, 6, 8, whatever. Has to be even numbers and you'll see why. This makes the button's output last longer. So we hit this, and as you can see, it stays up for longer. So let's increase that. And there. And there. Yeah, a lot longer. Now, to do this, all you need to do is a comparator leading into a comparator, redstone dust turned around, and then comparators facing in the other direction, redstone dust turning around. Now, if the sticky piston had been there instead, it would not go off because no redstone's leading into it. Alright, and I'll show you that real quick. See? Which is the reason why we back that up and we put the redstone dust there. Alright, again, I don't think there's anything more really to say for that. So we'll move along. Now, all we did was throw in one item here and one item here. Now, let's pop that out. Sorry guys, this is actually take 3, which is why some of this stuff was already set up. So, that's my bad. I forgot to take it down. But, anywho, yeah, moving along. So hoppers will suck up any items. You could put carpet on top of them. You could put slabs on top of them, stairs. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but anyway, you could put those on top and they'll still suck up the items that you throw at them, which is actually really cool and useful for hiding things. Anywho, the comparator will read, besides just extending the pulse, the comparator will read what's inside of this. Now, chest, hopper, trap chest, yeah, cauldron, anyhow, it'll read how much is in there. Now, if you put an unstackable item like a sword, a chest piece, I think doors and boats are unstackable still, any of that into here, it'll count as an entire stack like of 64 pistons. But if I want to just put one thing in there, it'll output 1 redstone charge. Now, what does 1 redstone charge mean? Well, that means that if you have 2 redstone won't be charged. Very simple, but some people may not have known. Ooh, I hope that did not come through the mic. Anyway, so the magical number here is actually 23, I believe. Man, I hope I'm right. Ooh, okay, 23. That would have sucked. Anywho, 23 items will give you 2 redstone charge, and then 23 to, I don't know, I think it's like 40 something, 60 something. Anyway, you can play around with it and find the numbers to get all the way up to max. Obviously, max would be all 5 being filled. So we're just going to pop this out. Let's say you need to charge 2 blocks away. You really need this piston to go up. And for some reason, you can't do any more than 1 item in here. Well, it's actually still possible. Just knock out that redstone and pop in any block. It's got to be a full block, though. Stone, cobblestone, wood. Wow. Okay, man, I hope my neighbors aren't coming through the mic now. Okay. So, yeah, this video is going to be late with all these takes, and anyway. Okay. So, yeah, you got a block that it'll run through. And there you go. So I'm just going to pop that back there. Now we move on to what most people have seen as this if you've been watching my videos lately, which is something that turns basically a button into a lever. Now this can be useful, obviously not for buttons, because why not just use a lever, but stuff like my redstone torch key and stuff like that. But anyway, you've got the button, which powers through. As you saw, there's a piston under there. The button will power the block. The repeater will accept the power from this, sending it through the piston with the block on top. Now, when that pushes up, okay, one quick thing, ticks. It's an amount of time. Like this is 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks, 1 tick. All right, it's an amount of time used for redstone timing. So less than 1 tick, and the piston, even though it's sticky, will leave the block behind, which is very important if you want to turn a button into a lever. Now anyway, so it'll go through the piston, which will pop up the block, meaning that less than a tick will be fed into this repeater, which will pop it out. Now, this right here is an alternative for this. Now, I forgot to show this as the alternative before in some of my builds, because I was in creative, I just threw this down. Now, obviously, a redstone block takes 9 redstone, a redstone torch takes 1. So, which one's cheaper? Obviously, this is the winner. But, anywho, both of them work just the same. Alright? And I'm gonna go sleep before it's nighttime. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back over here. Now, this one here was actually asked by one of my subscribers who does not want to be named. Now, what they wanted was to have their lights in their house be able to turn on and off from 2 different buttons. And that's what we have here. It's actually very simple. What you do is you use either this kind of contraption if you're short on a roof, because as you can see it's lower, or you can use this, which is what I was going to get into next over there. But we're going to do this one right here. Now, obviously you just saw me turn it on and off from there, and turn it on and off from here. Now what this is a dropper aimed up into a dropper. This dropper is aimed out into the hopper. And this hopper feeds back down into this dropper, which is facing as if I placed it like this. So it's pushing back into this. Now, originally, I was going to use this for my tutorial videos on PS4, but I thought it was broken, which is why I originally went with this. But it turns out I was broken. I was using dispensers instead of droppers. I swear I had droppers in my inventory when I tried it. But, yeah, anywho, this one's my favorite over that one. So, this is the one that you're going to see from now on. So yeah, it's very simple. You just throw 1 item into there, and when this one's powered, it's initially powered, and it's a split second faster powered before it powers everything around it. So when this block is powered, the one to the left, to the right, to the top, and to the bottom gets powered. Which is very important, because since this one happens a split second before left, right, up, top, and bottom, this one will power, then this one will power, which means that the item gets pushed into here, but won't be pushed any further. Alright? Important. Now, when it gets powered again, it'll move up to here, and since this one is a split second faster, it'll also be powered in here, which will pop it into the hopper, dropping it down. Which means that one click, you lose power to your lighting. Another click, you get the power back to your lighting. Alright? So, that's that. And I don't think I really need to go over it over here then. Probably didn't have to build it. Again, you don't need to use redstone dust. You can use the block. Alright, sorry, we had to cut something, and we're back. Now, if you're having trouble with, hey, I ran all this redstone, why is my piston not moving when I push this button? Well, that's because anytime you use a button, a lever, a redstone torch, a redstone block, I feel like I'm missing something else, a comparator with a full hopper, whatever. Anytime you're using any one of those outputs, it only does 15 redstone dust. It will not do any more than the 15. So if you want to do that incredibly long redstone line to come around, I know, bear with me, I just did this for being able to see the piston, but we'll say it's way off in the distance. If you want to do this ridiculous ring around, then you'll need a repeater to extend your line another 15. So just count all the way up to 15, and then once you're at 15, put down a repeater, and then you can go 15 more, and then another repeater, etc., etc. Now, another function of repeaters is to be somewhat of a clock. Now, this is going to be severely annoying, and I will turn it off really soon, but here we go. So, what's the use of that? Nothing really. It'll annoy your friends if you put it in their base, but it's too fast to really be of any use. Unless, I don't know, you wanted to fire off arrows, but it'll empty out pretty quick from a dispenser if you use this for arrows. Now, if you extend the duration to 4 ticks on both of them, it becomes less annoying and a little more useful. Now again, what would you use this for? I don't know. Oops, I did it too quick. I have to let there we go. I had to let the power come out. So, oh, and by the way, this is the best way that I've found, because the torch gets turned off as soon as it gets placed down, and it'll power the redstone for that split second, so it'll do the ring around. So if you're wondering why am I doing this, it's the best way I've found to start up a clock. Anyway, so let's extend the duration more. Alright, here we go. Now, again, you may be going, what's the use for this? Well, maybe you want, I don't know, to do some kind of like scary house. And, you know, like a psycho theme. Anywho, then you could do something like this, where the lights keep going off. You know, they like flash off for a quick second. I don't know. It's the only thing I could come up with on short notice. But yeah, there's a use for it. Let me just pop this out. And there we go. Here is the cheapest version of that is still super annoying. You got a block with 3 redstone torches coming out of it, with blocks on top of all of them, and 1 redstone in the center. Let me just flick this lever and be prepared for a lot of noise. Again, I'll turn it off in a second, just have to show what it does. Now, is there a use for that? No. I had a bunch of people, by the way, it doesn't work with lights like that, it won't flash super fast. You have to add a delay. So, I had a bunch of people on my PC server go ahead and toss these into the walls of my old base, and yeah, I actually stopped playing on that server because I couldn't find them all, and it was driving me freaking crazy. So, yeah, annoy your friends. Enjoy. Now, the last thing that we're going to touch on is hopper clocks. Now, you'll notice that there's three of basically the exact same thing here. So, you may be asking me, hey, what's the deal? Well, this one has two sticky pistons. This one has one sticky piston, one non, and this one has two regular pistons. So let's take a look at what makes them different. Now, actually, one second before I do. I've done my own timing, and as you can see, I've got 10 items in here. I should have 10 items in here, and I should have 10 items in here. Now, I have timed every single one of these several times, and I've done several takes. And each time it takes 4 seconds exactly for all 10 items to move from this hopper to this hopper, and then 4 seconds for them to move from this hopper to this hopper. Now everything that I found online said that it was 0.7 seconds to move one item from this hopper to this hopper, which should mean that it's 7 seconds to move all 10 instead of only 4. So I'm going to go against everything that's said online and say that at least on PS4, maybe not Xbox One, maybe not PC, but at least on PS4, it is 0.4 seconds to move one item from hopper to hopper. Alright, so beyond that, let's take a look at what it does. It'll move the redstone block over, dropping all 10 over, and then as soon as the 10th one reaches here, it's got enough power to push it back across. See, and it'll keep going forever and ever. This is what two sticky pistons will do. Now let me just power it, get it over there, and stay. Okay, now what if you have one sticky piston and one regular piston? Well, when you put an input in, which, by the way, you don't have to input, you can block update. I just found it easier to do an input. But you'll notice it went over, it came back, but it doesn't go back again, it stops. It'll only do over and back. That's it. Now, this is the one that I use most of the time. I have yet to find a use, but I'm sure there are some for like an infinite timer hopper timer. I just haven't found one yet. Oh, before I forget, to take your output, it won't do that every time. I just block updated it was all. Come on. You can do it from there, or I'm going to block update again. Sorry. Or you can do it from here. So you could have your button way out here, lead in by redstone to here, and then you power it, and then you only get 4 seconds worth of redstone. See? So that's the way that I usually use these. You could, if you wanted to, take the output from here, or even from here. But if you were to take it from one of these, you'd want to use a repeater, because as you can see, it's only going to be one block worth. So, see. Now, if I were to swap that to a redstone, come on, turn off comparator, thank you, it would not charge. Okay, now, I have no idea why anyone would care, but since I did the other two, I figured I might as well. This one, it only goes one way. So when you charge one side, it goes over and it stays. When you charge the other side, it goes over and it stays. Now, I honestly have no idea what use this could have. Again, I just threw it in because I did the other ones. Alright guys, this has been all. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, maybe even learned a little something. And, you know, if you did enjoy it, leave a like, and you want to be back next week, go ahead and feel free to subscribe. I'm sorry that it's like cutting in and out. I had to keep doing multiple takes because I'm actually kind of sick, and I didn't think you guys wanted to hear me hacking. So, sorry it's choppy. I know I usually do my videos in one big burst. Hopefully there's not too much of me clearing my throat in the video and all that. But, yeah. If you have any questions or concerns or anything like that about anything that I've done here, or maybe even your base, like how to light it or whatever, By all means, feel free to personal message me or leave a comment down on this video. I always check back, and I'm even willing to come into your world if we have the same times, off together. Alright, again, this has been all, and I'll catch you guys later.